All right, here we go. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Showtime TV. I'm your host, Omar Rashada. March marks the annual history of Women's History Month, and we're starting the program in March with women in the performing arts. And I have two distinguished guests on here. I have Marie Baker and I have Toni Trower. Ladies, good evening, and thank you for being a guest on Showtime TV.
Good evening.
All right.
Hi.
Let's start off with Toni. I want to ask both of you ladies, how did you get started in the performing arts, and what is it that you exactly do?
So me first?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I've been I guess I've been a professional singer since I was about 15 years old. And I my first single, I think I was like 15 or 16 when I had my first single out. And I've pretty much always loved music. I've been back in the scene, I guess about 6 or 7 years now. And so I'm mostly singing. Sometimes I do a little acting. A lot of times I do a lot of some modeling. So
Okay.
writing music and putting out original music right now.
All right. Now with the singing, with the acting and modeling, did the singing help bring those two, or is it something that you decide to, hey, you know what? Let me just try this out.
So being a vocalist, I guess that's how I got into the acting, because people, were like, hey, do you want to try and act? But I don't think they would have ever noticed me if I wasn't a singer. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Marie.
I started around 15 as well in school, and I've just been doing it ever since, from all over the tri-state area, just small productions. I wish I could sing like Toni, like that's always been an ambition of mine, but
Right.
the way my vocal cords are set up, it don't work out that way. So I've just been acting. I'm not a big fan of the camera, so I pretty much just do theater. I love the theater.
Right. Now, wait, you can't leave out being a spoken word artist. I mean, how you gonna forget that?
Well, yeah, well, that's what we were talking about. Like, yeah, I guess that's performing arts. Definitely, spoken word. That's my therapy. I've been doing that writing since grade school. So yeah, definitely. I want to say, it wasn't until I was a senior though that I actually started performing my work, and
Okay.
I've been doing it ever since.
Okay, I want to ask you too. Some stay with Marie. What's your poetry, spoken word? Do you write your spoken word, your poems through personal experience or through fictional stories? What are you based on writing your spoken word poems on?
Personal experience, but they're not always my personal experience. So it may be an
Okay.
experience of my children or something that I've been close to but still witnessed. 80% would be my personal experience, but it's definitely not fictional fact.
Okay. Now, Toni, with your songs, do you write your own songs, or do you have someone write your songs for you?
The originals that I do have, I've written my own. Yeah.
Okay. Now, so
I
the
wish,
songs.
I wish if anybody wants to write a song for me, hit me up. But unfortunately, I don't have anybody, like knocking down the door writing songs for me. So I have to write my own.
All right. So when you, I'm gonna ask you this same question as I did Marie. When you write your songs, is it based on fictional stories or is it based on personal experiences?
So it's my original songs are based on real experiences, mostly mine. A couple of experiences were other people, or about other people. A couple of the songs, but then there's times when I have to write for other people, like commercial, like in a commercial sense, and not necessarily like for myself, for other people. And then that's when I have to come and try and be really creative and and write stuff that's never happened to me before. Right, for other people, other people's experiences. Yeah.
Okay. Now, are you an R&B singer? Are you a soul singer? Or you're a jazz singer and a rock and roll singer? What's your genre?
So I love all genres. I have written for a majority of different genres. I like to think of myself as a vocalist because if I had to, I can pretty much sing whatever whatever is needed of me. So, but I do
Nice.
sing. My personal music out right now is R&B, jazz, and contemporary jazz. I have a song out right now. It's a Herbie Hancock song. It's called Butterfly, and people are calling it jazz fusion. So
Now, both of you ladies, whether it's being a singer, spoken word artist, or actress, you have the opportunity to perform in front of a live audience for the most part, whether, when you're on stage. What are your experiences like performing in front of a large audience or a small audience? Do you get nervous? Do you enjoy it? Do you enjoy the feedback? Does it pump you up? Do you get motivated? What's your experience? What is it like performing in front of a live audience? Whoever wants to go first can.
I can go first, or it doesn't matter.
No, go ahead.
Because mine might be a little bit unorthodox. I don't even know if that's the right word, because in the beginning when I first started performing, I was of course we're nervous, right?
Mhm.
I don't think we ever want the real nerves to go away, because then when they do, they always say, well, watch out, when you're not when you don't get on the stage and you're not nervous anymore. But now I feel like, honestly, when I am performing or I am on stage or I am in front of people, it just feels like intimate.
Mhm.
Like I feel like it's the closest thing that I would, it's almost like making love to the audience. I get a, it's wonderful. I guess that's the only thing I could say about it. That's what it feels like. It feels like the best thing that can ever happen to you.
Well, let me ask you a follow-up question. When you're singing and you're hitting that high note and the audience starts screaming, "Girl, go ahead." Does that give you even more motivation and desire? You know how we do it. When that high note comes and then in the middle of the song, you singing, everybody just stands up and yeah, go ahead, do your thing, girl. Go ahead, Toni.
And it goes right back to my original answer. It's amazing. It gives you more motivation to keep going, and to keep singing and keep, making people feel good. Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. All right, Marie.
I definitely can relate to Toni in sharing that it definitely is an intimate experience. For me, there's two different emotions going on depending on what it is I'm performing. When I'm acting, I love it. I do get nervous. And like Toni said, that's a good thing, because when you're not nervous, that's when you're not on your A game. You don't have that rush. You don't have none of that is there that makes you perform really, really well. And it is a rush. It's an adrenaline rush. I love it. I love being on the stage. Especially when, all you see, it's dark. It's dark. The house lights are down. You can't focus on anyone. You're sharing that artistry. I'm portraying someone else's work, and it's being conveyed through my actions. Now, when I'm performing my spoken word, I'm so nervous because it's my work. It's my words, my emotion that's on display. So I can't hear anything. I can't see anything. I'm a nervous wreck the whole way through. And that one is not so much enjoyable. I definitely enjoy writing and performing it, but it's not the same because it's completely transparent.
Well, let me ask you the same question I asked Toni, because when I see you do your poetry, I mean, I don't see nervousness. I mean, you're powerful. You go out there, you're up there on stage, you're doing your thing. And so when you're doing one of your poems, for example, and females in the audiences can feel you. They say, "Girl, go ahead. I know that's true." And then they talking and they talking. I mean, I would assume that gives you more motivation.
I don't hear it. I'm literally
Oh,
like
wow.
so nervous. I don't hear it. I'm trying not to speed through it because I'll start really hyperventilating and speaking really fast and rushing through the poem. So I'm trying to remember to pace myself, to do it as if I was performing a monologue. And it's very, very difficult for me to perform it as if it's not my work. I'm still working on that.
Okay. Well, we had another guest come in. I think she's trying to get her audio and video together. So she'll be joining us shortly, hopefully. All right. So going back to acting, what are some of the roles that you two ladies, and the type of characters do you enjoy playing the most? Like, for example, when you look at the history of some females in acting, you have Felicia Rashad, you have Angela Davis, you have Loretta Devine. You know, they play the motherly, serious, strong, independent type roles, educated type roles. And then they even have roles that are more comedic, and then you have more roles that are more dramatic. So I want to ask you ladies, you know, what type of roles do you enjoy playing the most? But before you ladies answer that question, I want to join our special guest, another special guest, Karen Bryson. Karen, good evening. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Am I unmuted?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Great. Would you believe I've been trying to sign on since 5 minutes to 7?
Okay, I know sometimes it's difficult, but we got you. We got you. You're here. So I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself. Let the audience know how you got involved in the performing arts, and what led you to the performing arts, and what is it that you do in the performing arts?
First of all, I want to thank you for having me, and welcome to my fellow ladies in the arts. How are you all?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Actually, it began when I was about 3 years old. I was watching TV and a Shirley Temple movie came on and she was dancing, and I pointed to my grandmother and said, "I want to dance." And she said, "You do?" I said, "Yes, I want to be on TV. I want to dance." And that started it. So in elementary school, I was in every play we did, in junior high school and high school. And then I finally went to college and performing arts. So it's always been ingrained in me. Anything from being on stage to being in movies or television. I mean, it's just like a whole nother world. You either love it or you don't. I think the purest form is actually stage. While I love being in movies because they last for generations and can be passed down forever. Right. But on stage, it's like, it's the purest form only because you have to get it correct every single night for the audience. You can't skirt around, you can't have retakes or do-overs. So I don't know, I just love anything connected to the performing arts.
Right. So in addition, in addition to acting, I believe you're also a dancer as well as a spoken word artist.
Well, when I was coming along, you had to be a triple threat. You had to be able to sing, dance, and act, or play an instrument, or do something special other than just act. So I love to dance. So ballet, modern, tap, jazz, you know, things like that. Yes.
Oh, so you're well-rounded, man.
I had to be.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So I want to ask you, the two ladies earlier, Toni and Marie, earlier. What's it like performing in front of a live audience? You mentioned the stage, and the audience is right there, and you're doing your lines or you're singing, and then they may be cheering you on. Go ahead, Karen, do your thing, girl. You know, so what has been your experience like performing in front of a live audience?
Well, if you're asking me again, you don't really see them because the lights are so intense and in your face. You can hear maybe the applause or something, but you zone out. I personally I'm in such a zen mood and so in the moment, you can't distract from that. You have to be in the moment to be able to interact and follow whatever's going on and be there. So it's just phenomenal.
Right, that's the same thing Marie was pretty much saying as well as Toni. So I want to ask you all three ladies, because all three of you're actresses as well. So I want to ask you, we talked about what are some of the roles or type of characters that you like playing, dramatic, comedian, serious. Let's start off with Toni.
Well, I like to play a lot of different roles, but the ones that I have been cast in were more, I would say, dramatic. Yeah, but I would like to try more comedic, roles.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, Marie.
I like the drama. I do like the drama. I guess that wow factor of the message behind the whole play. I definitely, you put me in those roles. You always give me those long monologues to go ahead and prove a point. I love it though.
Well, you do it so well. You do it so well. Karen, what's your favorite type of roles you enjoy playing the most?
I like comedy, but I do like roles that take me out of myself and something that you wouldn't expect me to do, because like my counterparts there, I'm sure people look at this first and then they, typecast us, whereas we are so versatile. And as actresses, there's so many things that we're able to do. So anything that takes me away from just looking like this, so that you can actually say, oh my God, I didn't recognize her in that role, or,
Right.
that was phenomenal. Anything different. But I love romance comedies, things like that.
Right. Being an actor, often said to myself the type of roles that I wouldn't play. For example, I don't think I would want to play a rapist or a sexual predator. Those type of roles that I just would have difficulty playing. So I want to ask you ladies the same question. Are there roles out there that you think you may say, nah, I don't think so? I mean, I know as an actress and actor, you have to be well versed, but sometimes you have your morals and you have your morals and your values. So, I mean, I don't know, is there any roles in particular or any type of characters that you ladies would not want to play? Anyone can start off.
I think at this stage in my life and where I am, I'm not pursuing acting as a career. I definitely do it because I love it. So I can be more selective with the roles that I choose. So I definitely wouldn't want to do anything that's any stereotype. I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna perpetuate stereotypes of my culture. I think we have enough of that, and those of another culture as well.
Right. Anyone else?
Okay, well, I do not like scary movies, so I cannot ever see me. I know it's only acting, but I can't do it. I will not play a scary role, anything with a lot of violence and blood and gore, or suspense is one thing, but scary is enough. I don't do scary.
Okay. All right. Is there anything for you, Toni?
Well, I think that I probably would avoid roles that had total nudity.
Oh yeah.
So I'm open.
Yeah.
I'm open for pretty much anything except for total tasteful things. I'm okay with, but total nudity, that would be out for me.
That's right, girl.
I know at least Karen had the opportunity to be in theater, film, and television. Maria, I'm not sure if you and Toni both had the opportunity to do all three, but Karen, is there a difference when you play in a theater, when you play the role in theater, a play, as opposed to playing a role in film, playing a role in television? For those who may be beginning actors, I want to ask that question.
It definitely is, but regardless of the venue or the mode, you always become a family and everyone looks out for each other. In film, the hours are long and you know it's going to be long, and they really won't shoot in sequence to whatever's going on. So you have to be prepared and working well with your other actors and actresses and just be ready for whatever they call it. Because we've been on set sometimes from like 6 or 7 in the morning till like 2 or 3, and I haven't left. So, I mean, it's really long hours depending on what you're doing. Whereas in stage, you already know a set time and a set place where you're going to be, and you do your, your thing, and you're out. So it's a different vibe, and you can prepare your mind and your body, for that amount of time and that amount of space where you're going to be.
Right. Toni, in terms of the singing, I was thinking just before the show. Well, actually, I made this point in the past. Growing up in the '90s, there, you had Boys and Men, New Edition. You had R. Kelly, and prior to that, you had Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. I mean, you had so many well-known singers, and right now it's 2021, and over the last several years, I really haven't seen any new singers. I mean, of course, you got Beyonce, you got Rihanna, but I mean, even with the music, if you want to purchase music, there's no more records, there's no more, I guess, CDs. So how are artists getting their music out there? That's part one question.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think that the music labels are doing something different now, and I feel like they only have like certain artists that they want to push. So that means that whatever money, whatever artist has money behind them, they're the ones that you actually hear on the radio. Mm-hmm. Which are the same artists over and over and over and over again. Right. It's not really any, I don't even listen to the radio that much anymore, but a lot of artists they consider themselves independent artists. Okay. And in a way that, and I consider myself as one as well. Of course, I'm not on the label, but I do work with a lot of different people that are in the industry, but everyone that I talk to says it's not necessary to be discovered by a record label. So a lot of people they're making music. You can publish your own music. I do it. I publish my music. It's on iTunes, Amazon, digital. You can buy it wherever you buy music, and you put it up on YouTube or you stream it. I don't know when I'm ever going to be on the radio though. So, I mean, that's what everybody's doing right now. Everybody's using social media to get noticed. And then where everybody, I don't care who you are, Beyonce, everybody makes their money from shows. Nobody makes money off of records anymore. Digital sales, people stream now, people do YouTube. But everybody makes their money right now off of doing live events and shows, and that's everybody across the board. So that's what everybody's trying to do. They're trying to get noticed enough. They're trying to get a little bit of enough recognition or interest to where people might want to hear them play live, and then that's where the actual what everybody's doing.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of you mentioning independent, I remember a couple of years ago when the movie New Edition came out. And man, I didn't realize that their managers took majority of their money. I mean, the mom was still living in Section 8 housing or low income housing, and they were stars. I mean, they would travel all over. I mean, growing up, I think that they were rich, but man, I did not realize that they did not get that money. I mean, wow, that's. I met
New Edition years ago in California, and I just remember them looking very tired. Like they were just so exhausted they weren't like focused. I mean, they were working them to death, and a lot of people got worked really hard and never got any money. I never got any money from my music in the beginning. And and what I would encourage musicians is to definitely take control of your career and your money. Don't let anybody else manage your money. Know where what's coming and going.
It seems like the theme to that was that so many artists are so hungry to be signed and to have their music out there and to perform that they're not really reading the contract thoroughly or having someone in knowledge go over it. So they're signing their lives away for pennies for years, and they're not really getting any benefit from it, which is sad. Like you said, and New Edition and TLC and so many other artists, it's sad. It really is. It's hard to find someone reputable that wants to work with you. And I can say what Barry Gordy did, but evidently his artists seem to have been happy, but then he was Black promoted. So I don't know.
Did you want to say anything?
Can I
Marie?
ask a question?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Toni first. I know I've heard Toni sing, and she has a beautiful, phenomenal voice. I know just in the music industry alone, since we're talking about women in the arts, I know it takes a whole lot more for a woman to be considered a phenomenal singer than it does for a male to be considered a phenomenal singer. A woman has to have range, whereas a male doesn't have to have that much range for them to be, like we said, getting all the airplay and everything on the radio.
Right.
So as a woman, and as you said, now we don't have to kick out all these fees because you can be put out your own music and everything now. Is it more of a hustle for you though? Because now, like you said, it's social media. So you have to get your own followers. You have to do your own promoting. It's not the record label's job to do that for you. And you're booking your own show. And as a woman, I know they want so much more from us. So how has that been for you? Like really trying to, just the hustle of trying to make it, especially now with the digital age.
I feel like it has been a hustle, and I've been my own everything. I've been my own accountant. I'm my own manager. I'm my own promoter. I do my own flyers. I do everything from cradle to grave for myself. I wish that I had someone to do that for me, but you know, when if you don't have it, I can't wait around for anybody to do that for me. I'm not that's not my personality. But I feel like the only thing that's changed since the pandemic is here is that I'm not performing as much. But everything else just seems like the same hustle. I'm still making music. I'm still in studio. I'm still putting out music. I have music coming out this year coming up. You know, so everything is still the same. To me, except for I'm just not performing. I'm just trying very hard to make sure that people remember me, so that when the pandemic is over, I can still get, hit the ground running. And I have a lot of things coming up. That's the hard thing, is like to make sure people remember you.
Yeah. May I ask you a question?
Locally, and then outside of Delaware, I'm stretching my arms out, and so I'm doing a lot of things outside of Delaware as well, which was my goal. I had goals.
Absolutely. May I ask you a question along those lines as well?
Sure.
Since I am so much older than you all, I feel like a dinosaur on this show.
No.
But
I'm old.
The best music, I think, was back in my time during the late 60s and 70s. It was beautiful. I can't listen to rap music. I like hip hop because it was more poetry and it had a message behind it, other than drop it like it's hot and,
Right.
At any rate, what I want to ask you is the fact that if you can sing, if you have a presence on stage, if you honestly are viable in your craft, why do women in music right now have to walk around with barely dressed, no clothes on? I don't get it. Men don't do it.
I wish the men did it, but I would, I would,
Me too, girl. Me too.
I would have a really, really good time, but it's just, that's why I told you I'll take a comedic part. But what the thing is that it is the nature of it. I have had so many people. I've had to, being my own manager, sex is just like a thing. You know, I don't know what it is, but I've had to like fend people off of me. I've had, you know, people just, they just want sex from women, and they if they can't have it, they want to see it. You know, a lot of the pictures that I take and a lot of the things that I wear, I have to confess, you know, are probably short and low cut. It feels like to me that you have to give people a reason to want to come see you, like that first initial thing that they see, like your promotional pictures, and they have to like say,
You have to grab their attention.
Yeah, what I wonder what she sounds like. I think they might just go to see a singer because she's hot, and then they realize, wow, okay, oh, she can sing, or she puts on a good show. I think it's just it's humanity. I think that women, we like things with more than just, we love with more than just our eyes.
Right. Not to
And I
get
think that men love with their eyes initially. And I think that we're just caught in that world, and some people can handle it, some people can't. Some people, you know, say this is going to be my style and this is it, and people are going to hate me or love me, but they're going to know me, you know.
So and like what Karen was saying, hip hop. So let's get into hip hop, because I have these debates and these conversations with my friends all the time about even in the music industry. So it's male dominated, like as far as who runs the businesses, right?
Yeah, I agree.
With hip hop and women in the industry, they don't allow us to overrun the show. There's only going to be a spot for maybe 2. So out of the tens of thousands, with all that talent, Karen, they're not going to go for the talent. They're going to go for just 2. I don't know why that is. It's like back in the day, it was, you had MC Lyte, but who else did you have? So you had Salt and Pepper and you have MC Lyte, but then who did you have at any given moment? So when you had Nicki Minaj out, right? So you had Nicki Minaj, and then who else was out? We didn't have a plethora of female artists. So those women are doing what it takes, or what those promoters are telling them to do. Like Toni was saying, to grab the attention. It's like when Cardi B first came out, it was, look at how she dressed. But once she actually got the spotlight, just like Nicki Minaj, once they got the spotlight, then they classied it up a little bit. Then they put on a little bit more clothes. But in the beginning, you're fighting for that top spot. And with the men who are running the show and who's booking the shows for you, they're telling you what it takes to sell those tickets and to get put on the bill.
That is so
I totally agree. I feel like as women, I've had to carve my way out. I'm in a small community. You know, Delaware is not that big. But I feel like wherever somebody, a roadblock, and men, and the majority of the musicians are men.
Yeah.
I've had to like deal with all men. There's not that many female musicians, and certainly not whole female bands. And wherever a roadblock has been put up against me for whatever reason, you know, there's a lot of reasons why men are like, oh, you know, because you won't date them, or because you don't like them, or you're not nice enough, or, you know, you're too, you're too business minded. You're not fun. I can keep going on and on. But wherever I've gotten roadblock put in front of me, I use a ladder and climb right over top of that thing, because I should not be, you know, since I've been back in the music industry, I should not be 6 years in sitting here. I feel incredibly blessed right now. You know, I shouldn't even have this attention, but I have to carve a way through every roadblock that comes in front of me. And one of the ways that I am trying to do it now, because I've always been a businesswoman, and I run my music like a business. So I collaborate with a lot of people, and right now I'm doing a startup with a friend of mine. His name is Brett Jolly, and we are actually starting a multimedia and music company. You know,
Okay.
and if people don't decide to do things like this, women are never going to be seen. Men are always going to be the ones running things. You know, so I feel like in business as well as my music, I need to carve my way through, you know, and so I do things like that to make sure that happens. And you know, and I can bring some other women with me.
Right.
Right.
It seems like in the past few years, women have come to power in so many areas in the arts. What will it take to get women in power in music so that we can have a voice, we can be seen and heard on our terms and on our level? What do we need to do?
We need to
It's the same.
we need to uplift other women, and we need to try and start our own companies and collaborate, you know, with each other to so that we can create a platform to
Right.
empower women and to give women voices. And I think that if men can own media companies, I think that, I mean, it starts out small, but I think eventually maybe a woman, you know, CEO, you know, it's a lot of hard work, but we have to definitely stick together, collaborate, and create that platform for women like our and all the future women.
Yes.
It's the same thing like people of color as a whole. When we didn't have a whole lot of roles for ourselves, well, what did we do? We needed to start our own company. We needed the Tyler Perrys. We needed the Omars. We needed to do our own because we couldn't sit around and wait for them to give it to us.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what women are going through now. Just like in politics, we can have the AOCs and everything, and we need more women to run, because if not, these older men are going to be running the world, but they're so out of touch of what it is that we need. Same thing with women. I feel women, first of all, a woman of color, we're double whammy. We're always going to be like the underdog, and we need more of us to uplift each other. Like Toni said, that's the main thing, and say, all right, we're going to do this together. That's it.
That's right.
Well, ladies, let me ask this question, ladies. Oh, so go ahead, Karen. You make a point. Go ahead. Then I'm gonna follow up after you.
Okay, I was just going to say, just like in acting, there's so many good Black women that compete and vie for the same roles, but the ones that are A-listers, they pull each other up. You know, they clap and applaud when their sister, you know, hey, you got that role. We might have tried out for it together, but you got it. I'll get the next one. And that's what they definitely have happened in the music and other areas of the arts. That was all I was going to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. For those who are watching Showtime TV, I'm your host, Omar Rashada. Today's topic of discussion is women in the performing arts in honor of Women History Month. I just want everybody to know that tomorrow at St. Joe's Church, 1012 North French Street, they're having COVID testing from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm just listening to you ladies talk. I kind of sat back and let you ladies take over the show. But I was thinking about
carve your way, Omar.
But you know, hey, this is your show. It's Women's History Month, so sometimes you just got to take it back to you and listen. But I was thinking about little Kim, how she used to look. She bleached her skin. She got plastic surgery, and she looks completely different. Do you think that the reason why she lightened her skin and to change her features and her hair was to be more accepted in the industry as a performing artist? I mean, because is there a certain look that a woman has to have in order to be successful in terms of being a performing artist, whether it's acting or whether it's music?
Definitely in acting. Definitely in acting, especially if you want to do film. It's Hollywood. It's Hollywood. Just like we were just talking, you have to sell. You have to sell your face, you have to sell your body. But with Little Kim, that was a whole lot of internal low self-esteem going on, as well as when she was in the public eye. Now she was in the spotlight, and it sort of magnified everything for her.
Yeah.
You have to be happy within yourself and know who you are and be confident in that. And she obviously did not like what she looked like and wanted to change that. I knew really hated his skin because he was a dark brown brother, but I thought he was gorgeous. But he didn't like his skin. He wanted to be lighter, brighter, and think that would be more acceptable for what he wanted to do. And I thought that was so sad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Marie mentioned stereotypes. Today, let's look at the reality shows, for example, Real Housewives of basketball, football, whatever you have. And in almost every single episode, there's fighting and there's drama, there's he say, she say, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When you look at shows in the past, like in Living Single, like Girlfriends, how did you get from? Well, let me ask you: Did you ladies enjoy those type of sitcoms, Girlfriends, Living Single? What do you think about those particular type of programs compared to what you see today? Marie?
So those are my favorite shows. There's not one episode that I haven't seen, and I still have it on replay now. So those were great. What happened was, and we're at fault for that. So what happened was there was a writer's strike. Once there was that writer's strike, that's when reality TV, even though we had it before, it really went off. Everything was reality TV because we had no writers. And whenever there was a fight, those ratings went up. So we wanted to tune in for the fights. So it's supply and demand. If we didn't want to watch every time somebody was perpetrating a stereotype, then they wouldn't show it. But because we tuned in for it, we want the drama, that's what we got.
Anyone else want to chime in? Or
I just really liked watching each of those shows as well. They were akin to any of our counterparts, our white sisters that were doing shows like Sex and the City and some of and Friends. But this was something that was indicative to our culture and us, and with life stories, and I enjoyed them. So I agree with Marie that it had to do with the writers, and I don't watch reality TV. I cannot stand that mess. I don't look at it.
Okay, Toni?
I love those shows. I feel like I saw people that look like me on TV for once. So yeah,
Yep.
and I kind of like the reality shows only because there wasn't a lot to watch, on TV, other than the news. So I don't, there are a lot of new shows that are coming out that are on Black networks, Black-owned networks. Tyler Perry has some shows that I like out right now. Oprah OWN has some shows. So I find myself watching less reality TV now that we have some like really good new stuff coming out with people that actually look like us, So I'm feeling pretty good about some of the shows that are coming out lately.
I want to see.
I don't like the fact that our people in the reality shows are doing all that cursing and throwing drinks in each other's faces and debating each other, and that's not building each other up, and that's not showing anything positive to anyone else coming behind them. That's what I don't appreciate about it.
Right.
Yeah, so they get paid a lot of money. You wouldn't believe how much money they get paid.
They do.
I wish we had we should do a Housewives in Delaware.
Come back to Delaware just to do one.
Girl, let's start it.
Right.
Let's start it.
I want to ask you, ladies, since this is Women's History Month, who are some of your favorite female performing artists, whether it be actors, singers, spoken word artists? I want to start off with Karen.
Some of my favorites are Viola Davis. Let's see. I really loved Lena Horne back in the day, which is way going back. I would love to do something with, obviously, Denzel, and I was waiting and hoping to do something with Chadwick Boseman, and that was so sad. That broke my heart when he died.
Right.
Even there are a whole lot of people. Oh my God, my list is so long, I can't even think of anybody else offhand, but to be an A-lister and to do an iconic movie, a film that, will last through generations. And everyone still want to see and talk about 20 and 30 years from now and say, your grandchildren, oh my God, I love that movie. You know, my grandmother was in it or whatever, you know, just things like that.
Right. Marie?
See, now you put me on the spot. I don't remember everybody's names. The like new generation coming out, but you know, I love Angela Bassett. I've always loved Angela Bassett. Viola Davis, yes, definitely, but I love Angela. There's like Zaldana, Zoe Zaldana. I love her, up and coming. Not up and coming, but she's like getting a lot of bigger roles now. And then the young lady, she did the Spider-Man Far From Home, and I forget her name. And the other one from Lovecraft Country. I'm happy to see them because I watched them as child actors like on Disney, and now they're women and they're picking like they're having great roles. I love watching the shows that my boys used to watch when they were younger, and now them coming into their own and doing so great. So I just tried and true older ones, like I said, Angela Bassett, but I do love the young ones coming up.
All right, Toni?
I think right now my favorite is Viola Davis. I said her name right?
Yes.
Yeah. I love her and everything that she does. I just love that she is not cookie cutter. You know, she is herself, and they put her in like various like roles. She can play anything. She doesn't have to be, you know, typecast.
Yeah, she doesn't mind role.
I love her. I think she's so talented. And then as far as art, like a music artist, my all-time favorite is Nina Simone.
Okay.
I love her story. I love her struggle. She has a deep, you know, a very interesting story, you know, about her struggles with the industry and with her her emotional struggles.
Right.
So I mean, there's many more, but those two are well, as far as the men, you know, I have to go primal on y'all. The Rock.
Come on, girl.
Anybody that knows me knows that it's The Rock.
All right. You know, so Toni mentioned earlier about the pandemic. So I don't know when theater's going to come back, when the film's going to come back in terms of the movie theaters. But are you ladies hungry to get back on stage, or are you hungry to get back out there and be a performing artist and do your acting? Are you hungry?
Absolutely. Currently working on 2 different films at the moment. We're doing table reads at the moment. So hopefully we'll get these shot between now and April. We're trying to still get everybody together so that, you know, we'll be safe when we do this. But I'm excited. I miss it a lot.
All right. Now, where will the film be shot at?
They're going to be shot here in Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Go ahead,
I'm
Marie.
in Delaware though. I have buns down here.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm not anxious to get back on the stage. I'm anxious to go to the theater. You know, Omar Jermaine, he is just completing his first year at University of the Arts.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm really anxious for him to get on the stage because he's usually so busy, and this year he hasn't had any projects. So I'm really anxious to see my son on the stage, and my podcast. I'm more doing a lot of things behind the scene. I have a cooking show on one of my Facebook groups that just started last week. So I'm doing different things, but I miss going to the theater. That's what I miss.
Right. Okay, ladies, so we're coming to the end of the program, so I'll give you ladies the opportunity to give your website or your email for those who may be watching, want to contact you, or any final words of encouragement that you want to say to those who are watching. We'll start off with Marie.
Prophetic Phoenix on Etsy. I have a lot of different holistic products there. But as far as what I do, the Urban Mariposa Instagram, definitely any words. Don't compromise too much. We have to lift each other up like we discussed, and we have to start building our own production companies and making these roles for us.
All right, Toni?
So I have a few things coming out. I have some new music coming out this summer. If you guys want to check me out, you check me out on Instagram. Follow me. It's Toni Trower. Follow my YouTube channel. Check out some of my videos and my music. It's also Toni Trower, and Toni Trower on Facebook. I do have some things I'm going to be posting and some events that are going to be coming up. And also I want to give a shout out to my partner for this new multimedia venture that we are embarking on. It's called Jolly T Multimedia. So his name is Brett Jolly. The Jolly is for Brett and the T is for me.
Aww.
So you guys stay tuned. We have a lot of stuff coming up. It'll be a good alternative to a lot of the things in the media right now that you don't really care to watch. So look out for that.
All right, and Karen?
You ladies are so encouraging. I can't wait to sign on and follow each of you to see what wonderful things you're doing.
I'm gonna friend you. I'm gonna friend you.
I hope so. Well, you can find me on Facebook, Karen M. Bryson, and on Instagram under Poetry Diva 3. I think it's either Poetry Diva or Poetry Diva 3. You don't look at yourself. But I would tell anyone that really has a passion, and this is what you eat and sleep. You wake up, first thing in the morning, you want to either be in music, the arts, or whatever it is you want to do. And you go to sleep at night, and that's all you can think about. Stay with it, because if that's your passion, that can be your reality and your truth. Don't give up. Do not.
All right, ladies, I'd like to thank you for being a guest on tonight's evening special show, Women in the Performing Arts. You're all great, awesome guests. I'd like to thank those for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. And next week, I will be interviewing women in activism. That'd be part 2, Women's History Month. All right, ladies, thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you, Omar. Good night, ladies.
Thank you, Omar.
Good night, ladies.
Take care.
Good
See y'all.
night.